Welcome back. Hello. Right. So in this half of our flock gathering, we're going to make our little pebble rug. Now I'll keep checking the chat just in case somebody has questions or needs to know a little bit more. But just to reiterate, all of this, you know all of this already, but I'm going to say it again. You've had lots of wool in our flock box. I'm going to show you what you've got in there. So you've got these colours, perfect pebble colours, in your flock box. You have had some green, just to mix it up a bit, with maybe some moss or algae, depending what kind of pebbles you're making. And you've got some extra strong thread, and we will be using this thread to sew the pebbles together. It looks messy, but it's actually a really good way of doing it, and I can't wait to show you how that is done. So you will need a sewing needle as well, and of course you will need a felting needle. I've got my felting mat here. It's got the remains of the teddy bear on there, which the teddy bear's fine, but it's just I used it for the teddy bear making Zoom, and yeah, which was lovely. I'm loving my teddy bear. You might have seen me post about him. It's really lovely actually to be able to make something for pleasure rather than make something, you know, that because it wasn't my design. Colette designed it. I felt like I was making it for the first time, which I was. Well, not quite, but you get the gist. It's my bear. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't have to share it with anybody. So now, what's special about pebbles is that you can make them in one color, and then you can sort of, all you need to put is like a mineral, I think it's like a mineral residue or something like that that runs through it, and that gives sort of the very, very distinct pebble look. But mainly what you need to do is you just tease off a little bit of the wool. It is quite small needle felting, so make sure you don't have your needles, your fingers, where you're stabbing the needle. I'm trying to find a coarse needle here, because that's what I want. I don't know, this is unmarked, so I'm gonna, oh gosh, that's a reverse needle. How did that sneak in there? Well, I know how it snuck in there, because I emptied my nice needle case out, because I put beads in there earlier, and now I have no idea what needles are in there. Must have been, let's try that. Right, so you roll it into a ball shape. Of course, you're never going to get it completely round, so just roll it into nice and tight. The tighter you roll any shape, the less you got a needle felt into it. So you can, because you're going to make lots of these pebbles, you want to make them nice and tight to start with, so you don't have to do so much stabbing. And then you just have to literally just shape it. Now when you are making these little pebbles, you have no choice other than to just felt them down really solid. Really don't cut any corners. They need to be nicely felted down. So what I think, this project is not actually one that where you sit down and you think, right, today I'm going to make a pebble rug. This project is one that you take away when you are, I don't know, have a few extra minutes here or there, lunch break, on a journey, and just keep making pebbles. Just keep making them to add to your stash. And now the pebbles can remain quite round all around, because what you're going to do is, once they are all joined together, once you've sewn them all together, you will iron them flat. I love that part as well, because it sort of makes them fit into each other a little bit more. And look, how lovely is that? Perfect to put your cup of tea on. Hot cup of tea, keeps your table protected. You can even go bigger and make it a hot plate. I don't really know what they're called, hot plate something or the other. Now, I've never chucked little pebbles in the washing machine. I think that that they will shrink a little bit more, but you will definitely 100% need to put them into something like a wash net or a pillowcase, because otherwise God knows where they're going, and they're probably not going where you want them to go. They will clog up your washing machine. So don't get tempted to put the small pebbles in your washing machine. Saying that, the large pebble rug, which I showed you earlier, that has been, they all of these have been through the wash, the pebbles. They're absolutely solid, and and I didn't waste any washing what's it called, cycle. I literally put all my clothes in there as well and chucked the pebbles in, put it at 60 degrees, and they came out nice and shrunk, and I found lots of them later in several items of clothing where I wasn't expecting them. So you can actually with a bigger pebbles, you can actually cut down the time that you have to stub into them, because they can go in the washing machine. Now it is wool month this month, and I just absolutely love this whole concept of these these pebbles, because to me this is just the perfect marriage between wool and a really hard stone, because they look like stone, but they're not. They're actually made from wool, and wool is just so amazing to me. To me, this is sort of the essence of, or one of the essence of wool. That it's like a chameleon wool. It hides really well. So my little pebble here now feels like it's sort of a bean shape, probably about the size as some of the others. And I'm just going to add a little bit of a stripe in there now. Now these stripes, I would put them, they don't have to go all the way around, they can just be a little streak. But this one I'm just going to felt down. This is such a great way, especially when you're quite a beginner needle felter, to just practice making shapes, because there's no shape under the earth, under the sun, under the earth, where did that come from? Under the sun, that couldn't be a pebble shape. They come in the weirdest shapes. They're flat, they're pointy, they are all weird shaped. So you will never go wrong making a pebble shape, but you could practice shaping. So you could say, oh, I want to make a pointy pebble. What do I need to do for that? And you can just stab more in one end, or I want to make a pebble that's really flat at the end. How do I do that? And so you can actually practice your needle felting skills with making pebbles and then joining them all together at the end, and be amazed what a beautiful artistic creation you have made. So I think the pebbles are totally underrated. If you think that they're boring, they're not. They're just one piece of the puzzle that you could be putting together, and in the process you learn so much. Now this one here is the Gotland Island wool. It's really, really long, but it makes a really super strong felt, and it is such a typical pebble color. It's got that really variegated grey that's so it looks like a wet pebble. To me, we also have the Gotland Island or the Gotland lamb, which is a slightly lighter grey, as it being a younger sheep, and both of them would work really well together. I've got some different colours in there that you haven't got in your stash. So before you start oogling my little pebble rug, of course you can make the colour lighter by mixing wool together. So you've got your white, and that can mix with literally every colour that you've got there to make a lighter tone, or you can mix the grey in with any of these and get a different shade. So there are actually lots and lots of combination mixes that you can make to sort of make your pebble coaster a little bit more exciting. So let's have a look. Who else? Let's have a look. So we're still talking about this phone issue. You won't know this necessarily if you're watching this separate from the beginning, but I recently passed the Life in the UK test to become a British citizen, and everybody's sort of like astonished that you have to put your phone away, I suppose. So yes, it could be transmitting to a hidden receiver that I've got implanted in my ears. You could put the pebbles in a mesh laundry bag that is used for delicate items. I used one to hold my daughter's small socks in the washing machine when she was a baby. Perfect. I've made quite a few pebbles in the past to go with different needle felted scenes. Yeah, you can put them all together and make a rug. I genuinely think if you have a friend who has sort of likes that natural, quite muted tone color look and you made them a pebble rug or a pebble coaster or a pebble something or the other. I mean, you could even make something and sew it together like a pebble iPhone holder or pebble phone holder or pebble tablet holder or something like that. I think they would love you forever. I think if you know somebody who likes that natural muted tone, they will love you forever. I remember at some of the shows that somebody came to us and she was a geologist, and she absolutely loved the idea of needle felting pebbles. That's like finding all these special stones, and she explained all the deposits and where they all came from, and there's a lot, so that there's quite a science behind it. I have no idea about it really, so I just make them however I please. So we can add a little bit of white into this one here. Cool. I'm going all the way around, or you could put like a double stripe. You've seen, must have seen loads of pebbles, but this is a very classic pebble look that I'm doing here now. Very classic. I don't know that I would work with multi-tools on a small project like this. Well, you could, I suppose, you could use your Clover 3 needle pen. Let's try that. Nah, I wouldn't do that. It's too tempting to stab yourself. I mean, not that you'd want to, but it's too close to comfort. Definitely use your coarse needle. Oh God, this is a horrible needle. I think that is what is this? I think something went wrong with that. Oh, there's something on it. Probably I must have poked it into the top of a glue bottle. It's actually a twisted needle, but there's definitely something stuck at the end that stops it from coming out smoothly. Okay, so this must have been my little case where I've put needles, special needles that shouldn't be used, or I've mixed them all with my nice needles, so I don't know which one is which now. Okay, this is a really, really coarse needle, and that is almost, yeah, I'm not liking that. Choose the needle that works for you. Okay, just have a little stab with different ones, and then you can work it out. So what I wanted to show you is, because I don't want to make another 20 odd pebbles, you'd be fast asleep. Well, I'd be asleep before you. But what I want to show you now is how to join them together. So I've got a slightly bigger needle here just so you can see what I'm doing. This is not because you need a big needle, you don't, but it's better for you to see what I'm doing. So take your extra strong thread. Now if you're joining a lot of pebbles together, then obviously you have a bit of a longer thread. Thread it onto the needle. Right. Now I've kept it as a single thread, so I haven't doubled it up. So you can put a knot in the end, or a double knot, just to stop it from slipping straight through the pebble. And so this is what you would do if you ran out of thread, having sewn the pebbles together. Just get your thread established. So even though I've got a knot on there, I'm just going to go couple of times in and out like that. Okay, so now you're going to add your pebble, the one that you can see that this one is much rounder because that obviously hasn't been part of the ironing down process. And then you're going from one pebble into the new pebble, out, not your finger, and then you're actually going to do a blanket stitch. So you're catching that loop with your needle and you pull, and then you're going to repeat this, because there will be lots of, once you've got sort of a pull it tight, there will be more pebbles suddenly touching that one pebble than there were before, and then you pull it tight. So you're basically using a blanket stitch. A blanket stitch is where you're going through with the needle, and in that loop that is there, you insert the needle again, so you're creating a bridge, so to speak, and that's how you attach your pebbles to each other. If you're just going in and out and in and out and weave them all together, they will all be wobbling around like there's no tomorrow. This way, it might look messy, but it actually isn't. And if you need to go to this side now, because look, this is still gapy, has a gap, just go through the pebble and then work your way towards the pebble that you want to secure, or the pebble you want to secure it against. Pull it. It's also a really good way to keep pulling the pebbles, because you want them to be really close and tight together. You don't want there to be any gaps. And then get to that pebble. Sorry, I've just lost the thread. It takes quite a lot of this thread, I will be honest. So, but it's extra strong. You don't have to worry about it tearing. It has got a really good strength to it. It won't tear. But do these blanket stitches to fasten your pebbles together. And so if you don't want to add the pebble right there where you are with your thread now, just go to the place where you want to add the pebble, because sometimes you need to sort of plan it where the pebble's going. You know, you can see that there might be sort of bits sticking out more. I'm going to put that one. So you can go through the pebbles if you just need to get to a particular place. And always do this, so keep the thread underneath your little rug, so it's not visible from the top at all. It's all happening underneath, but you are getting a really good joining going here with doing these blanket stitches. And the pebbles are absolutely rock solid once they're sewn together in that way. As I say, if you don't like the underneath, just cover it. If you're doing a coaster, just sew a bit of felt underneath it, and nobody will be any the wiser what's going on down there. Ow, that was me again. I seem to poke myself more with a sewing needle than with a felting needle. So I hope that this has been inspirational, educational, but this is how I've done this little pebble rug. And then all you need to do is you can have your iron at a really high setting, because wool, you literally cannot burn wool. It is a fire retardant, so don't worry about burning it. And just run your iron over it from the top, so that you flatten the pebbles down. You can put a protective, if you've got something on the back of your iron, you don't want that to transfer onto here. So put a protective cloth over it, like a cotton cloth or a tea towel or something like that. But you're not going to burn your pebble coaster. And that is exactly how I've done these. So what happens is that can you see that's all the blanket stitches here, and in fact I started out sewing them together, and it just didn't look right, and this is where you find gaps where I've just sewn them together. But where you join them together like this, it's a much more solid joining together, and the little rack has got almost like it's got a join. So the little rack, it will bend that way, but it won't bend that way easily, because it's almost like you're making a one-way joint here with using that method. And the same with this one. It bends that way, but that way, like it's harder to bend it that way. So that, I think I'm going to leave it as that today. It's been a really long day, and I don't know, I'm going to check in with the chat just to make sure that everybody's happy, or if you want me to repeat anything. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to read backwards, because then I okay, so maybe that's not a good idea. Oh, Elaine says, my daughter is a geologist. She would love... Yes, this is it. Exactly. This is this. Did I meet her at one of the shows? Because I have met a geologist, and she was absolutely in love with the pebbles. Christmas present for her sorted. Just need to make it now. Yes, you do. I've made... Oh, no, that's the same chat. So... is that after you have ironed them? What am I doing after? You sew them together and then you iron them. So you connect all the pebbles together first, and then you iron them, and then you put a backing onto your work if you need it. Margaret says, thank you, looks absolutely wonderful. Will you give this a go? Oh, I've got a request. Pretty please. For those of you who enjoy being flock members, could you please pop a review into the listing on our website about the flock membership? It doesn't have to be a novel. You can just say a few words, give us the thumbs up if you like it. And because we are always trying to broaden, increase the herd of flockers. So it would be nice to get more people on board. So yes, please give us a nice review if you could. You could put the pebbles in them. Oh, you know, I've read all. I think I'm caught up with all of the comments, so I'm going to call it a day. But please share your makes with us, and remember that there are lots of other benefits to the flock membership as well, other than getting the flock box and getting these tutorials exclusive to you. There's also discount codes. Check out the Owl Zoom workshop that we've just listed, which is happening in January. We have still a few spaces at our winter retreat now that we've brought in extra accommodation. Well, we haven't brought it in, we have to go to it, but it's not very far. And lots of stuff happening, way more than I can even sometimes remember. But keep an eye out. You'll know about it first here in the flock box, in the flock membership, and through the flock box members. Right, that's all from me. Thank you so much for watching. Lots of love. Have a lovely evening, or whatever time of the day you are still looking forward to. See you soon. Bye.